We all know that Chicago is a great city with a big economy with a lot of great things happening in it. Unfortunately, Chicago is also a city known for gunshots! That's right, crime rate, murders, gangs. You get it. Chicago is a rough city. It's always had this problem, especially the last 50 years. The city, which has been heavily Democrat around this time, has always had these extreme problems, but not to fear. And to couple that with the fact that in African American sections of the city, there is a don't snitch policy. So when you do hear those gunshots, people don't like to call the police. So this is one of the reasons why a lot of people in Chicago get away with a lot of things. But have no fear, there is a technology that can be used to solve these crimes, even if you don't want to call the police. And that technology is called Shotspotter. Let's find out how it works.
A gun is fired somewhere in your city. So what happens now? In the past, there was a slim chance the shooting would be reported to police at all. Even when it was, it took precious time, and there was often confusion regarding the location of the shooting and other pertinent information. At least, that's how things were. ShotSpotter has changed all that. By utilizing advanced technology honed over 2 decades, we have automated the process. We monitor gunfire activity 24/7. So if a gun is fired in any area within ShotSpotter coverage, the system detects, locates, and immediately alerts police of the gunshot. So how does it work? It starts with acoustic sensors that are placed on buildings or street lamps throughout a neighborhood. If a gun is fired anywhere in the area, multiple sensors detect and timestamp the sound. The precise location of the gunshot is determined based on the amount of time it takes for the sound of the gunshot to travel to each individual sensor, effectively triangulating the sound. The exact location of the detected gunshot is indicated by a dot on a map. Once an alert is generated, it is immediately sent to our IRC, or Incident Review Center, where trained acoustic experts then analyze each incident in mere seconds.
And see, the reason why this is good because, again, if you called the police or not, you heard what they had to say. The algorithm's going to come out, that sound transmission will be interpreted by a human, which will be given to the police, and that gives the police the opportunity to arrest those individuals who are doing the shooting. Theoretically, that should bring crime down. But stop the show. Chicago's mayor, Brandon Johnson, is going to end the spot shotter contract this year. It cost the city of Chicago $49 million. His reasoning, well, we're going to invest in people and work more with communities to get it solved. But this alderman disagrees. He says this.
What do you make of the decision to end this ShotSpotter contract?
This is another horrible decision by the administration to cancel ShotSpotter. In certain communities, historically, they don't call the police, and this is a tool to help the police to respond quickly to 911 calls where shots are fired so they can get there in an expeditious manner, and now they don't have that tool. When data has shown people are not calling 911. So this is something to help communities that are still afraid to call 911 and to aid the police in responding in a timely manner.
Well, and the superintendent had said he was supportive of it as well.
Well, the superintendent said he's a huge advocate for ShotSpotter. So the administration is going against the same person he just hired to police the city of Chicago, and you're going against his expertise as far as being a policeman. So I think it's sad to say, but this is another political decision and not a common sense decision.
There are those who do turn to some reports that say that ShotSpotter might not have helped as far as response time. I think it's one of those things where we have statistics that can prove almost anything if you ask for it.
Well, we know the ShotSpotter works in our community, and communities that have historically had violence and different problems, it has helped aid the police in helping solve crimes in our community. So we know it works. When you ask the people on the ground if ShotSpotter works, they'll tell you, yes, it does. But when you ask the advocates who have no idea what ShotSpotter does, then they're going to say, oh, we just want that money to allocate it to something else. That's where politics is getting involved in policing, and it shouldn't. We need to use the data. We need ShotSpotter. And let me just say this for the record. If ShotSpotter is so bad, cancel it now. Why you want to wait till a month after the DNC? So you want to protect the people that are coming in for the DNC and then cancel it a month after. So if it's good enough for them, why is it not good enough for the rest of the people here in the city of Chicago?
And the mayor has the right to do this without city council approval?
Well, we're going to see if the city council has an appetite to override the mayor and put something in place to keep ShotSpotter.
It doesn't. That's going to be a tough one.
Well, we're going to see what happens.
Now, I know you were wondering, what does this have to do with anything? Just stick with me. So ShotSpotter is being canceled. The safety of African American residents is not on his agenda. That's clear. But you know what is on his agenda? Migration. Give him a round of applause. Because he's more concerned with migration than he is with helping his African American constituents who got him elected. You see, the migrant crisis coming into Chicago is going to cost at least $321 million more. The federal government is going to give $250 million. Well, who's going to finance the other $71 million? Let's find out from the mayor.
The estimated cost for caring for migrants this year, including providing shelter, health care, and transitioning them into their own housing, is estimated to be $321 million. That's according to the governor and the Cook County Board president, who today announced a plan to cover $250 million of that.
So I'm grateful of the work from the state as well as from the county and the work that they have done and what they are committed to continuing to do.
But when the mayor was asked about the city committing to fund the remaining $71 million needed for migrant care, he repeatedly dodged the questions.
There are a lot of things to consider in this entire operation. It's not just financial resources. I'm committed to this mission as I've been. And I'm grateful that we have partners at the state level and the county level who are also committed to this mission.
If we could get an answer to whether $71 million will be committed by the city for this part of the mission, after the state and the county committed theirs. The mayor did not answer that question, instead pivoting to talk about the overall operation. The governor saying in a statement, it is clear the state, county, and city will have to do more to keep people safe. And Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle adding, we cannot wait for additional resources. Mayor Johnson, after being pressed numerous times by reporters, suggesting that he was counting on the city's $71 million portion of this year's migrant funding to come from the feds.
But the goal is to ultimately challenge the federal government to do its part, because local municipalities are not designed and built to be able to hold this type of operations.
One alderman suggesting that at least part of the migrant money could come from American Rescue Plan funds that the city already has, but the mayor shot down that idea, saying those funds will go to help Chicago's disinvested neighborhoods.
Oh, the mayor doesn't seem so, he doesn't seem so concise with that. You want to know why? Well, because he's going to pay it. That's right. The mayor is going to pay that money to house migrants. I can guarantee. You want to know why? Well, the $49 million that would help keep African Americans and other people in Chicago safe with ShotSpotter is going to be gone. Crime will go up, but that money will be used to help pay house migrants in the same city that this mayor promised to help African American constituents. But stop the show. Now we have African American residents of Chicago fighting back. There is even African American Democrats suing the city of Chicago based on this whole idea. Let's check it out.
You know, your park and your community center and the leaders that were elected to represent you, take that and give it to people who aren't from your community, that came across the southern border. Is there a level of betrayal in that?
Well, first of all, of course, there's a level of betrayal because there was no forethought, no planning into this. And I have to really say that if Mayor Brandon Johnson had just picked up the phone and called the community that he comes from to ask us if that's something that he should be considering, we would have told him absolutely not. We would have told him that that is something that is not going to fly with the people here in this community. You know, we are very dedicated to our parks and to our community. And so that was just something we were not going to go for. The fact is that you are going to attempt to take over the park and not talk to the people, not come to the people, not offer any kinds of suggestions to help the people or to alleviate the stress of what's already going on in a blighted and disinvested in community, and to say to us, hey, listen, we got these migrants here, we need someplace to put them, and we're going to just take your park.
Now, guys, I don't know how far this is going to go. Again, they have migrants literally sleeping in community parks, trying to take over things that, you know, are usually for African American communities. It's not just happening there. It's happening also in Boston too. But the key to this is to understand that folks in Chicago are starting to wake up. Yeah, unfortunately, the people that you voted for, like Brandon Johnson, you start to find out he's not loyal to you. He's loyal to the migrants. Why is he loyal to the migrants? Because that's who Democrats are loyal to. Democrats have never really been loyal to the black community. And why is that? Because the black community, unfortunately, isn't loyal to the black community. Again, let's go back to Dr. Claude Anderson. Rewind! I hate to keep playing this clip, but it's so surreal. Let's go back to this interview. It's 1995. It was 29 years ago. Dr. Claude Anderson predicted this would happen, and he says so in this interview.
1838 by the Maryland colony, and nothing has changed, and that black folk are still fighting for self-sufficiency and competitiveness in this country, and that we must come together quickly or what risk being a permanent underclass in the society.
One of the alarming predictions you make in the book is along those lines. You mentioned that blacks will be pretty much a permanent underclass in America by the year 2015. Why the year 2015?
2015 because what I've concluded from analysis is that there are going to be a converging of social factors nationally and internationally that's going to place blacks in a permanent status of underclassship. And we anticipate by that point in time, based on all the research that's coming to us, that the next generation of whites is going to be more anti-black than they've been since the Civil Rights Movement. 2, we anticipate by the same token about 86 million Hispanics coming into the United States and about 41 million Asians by that point in time, which is going to kick black folk out of being the minority in the society down to a minority. We've been number 2 in the society for 400 years as a group. We're going to become number 4. And if we have not gotten anything after being number 2 for 400 years, you guess what's going to happen when we become number 4. Because at that point in time, all the new groups coming into America, they're coming in higher than we are because this country operates off of a preferential acceptance program, which means that groups are coming in based on skin color. They're going from the lightest down to the darkest. Light, yellow, brown, black. And that's what our immigration laws are based on. And black folk would not be able to penetrate through those groups to get to the white society when that happens, because those groups owe us nothing. They don't understand our problems, and they are competitive with us, and we don't begin to be a little more aggressive about being in a competitive posture. They're going to eat our lunch.
Again, that last part, they're going to eat our lunch. And oh, are they? And not only are they going to eat our lunch, what he probably didn't predict, or what he probably couldn't foresee, was that black politicians would be selling us out to help those others eat our lunch. You see, no politician in Chicago, possibly, I would say in black Chicago, could get elected by saying, you know what, elect me, we're gonna get migrants to replace you and make your life difficult. Can't happen. Brandon Johnson can't run on that standard. What he could do though, is to pretend that he really cares about you as a group of people, align with you, then once he gets into office, play stupid as if he doesn't know what's going on, then pull what he's doing. That's what politicians do. And unfortunately, they're loyal to who is paying them. And this is something that we got to understand. We have to stop looking at the community like somebody owes us for slavery, that, you know, hey, we need our reparations, which all of this is true. I'm not trying to say that it's not true. What I'm trying to say is, look, these politicians are for sale. If we don't buy them, somebody else will buy them. There's a reason why they are doing what they're doing. We got to start buying people. We got to come off the money to get, even if we're organizing campaign drives and organizing money drives, to give to politicians or to their things, to punish them, because we're in no position to punish Brandon Johnson right now, politically. We're not. The next election, electing somebody else, but when it comes to money and it comes to funding the campaign, that's where it really hurts. And until Chicago can do that and get an independent mayor, maybe even Republican, things are not going to change, right? And you want to know who's going to be at the bottom of that totem pole? You. All blacks. It's happening in Roxbury in Boston. It's happening all in New York City. Literally, they're trying to get Trump elected, right? This is what they're trying to do. But the reality is this, family. These people are going to do whatever they can do to even take things out that really help the community, like Shotspotter, and then give the money to something else that doesn't help you. If that's not a slap in the face, damn it, I don't know what is. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shay Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode here on King Gunda. Ready to put you for all you. Describe the bell. We're out.